Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on something you probably use literally every single day, but might never think twice about. Whether you're firing off a crucial job application or just getting your monthly bank statements, email is basically the backbone of our digital lives, right? But have you ever stopped to actually think about the incredible invisible journey that data takes? We're going to go completely behind the scenes of Gmail's security to see exactly how your messages are protected. So let's start with a really simple question. What actually happens after you press send? I mean, most of us just type out a message, click the button, and assume it safely, instantly teleports to our friend's inbox. But what's going on in those few seconds? Does your email shoot directly from your phone to theirs? Can hackers sitting on your network grab it midair? And here's the big one. Can your email provider actually read your messages? We're going to follow one single email from the exact second you hit send until it reaches its final destination and unpack the truth behind all of this. But first, to really understand why this matters, we have to talk about scale, because the numbers here are mind-blowing. Every single day, more than 300 billion emails are sent around the world. 300 billion! And spoiler alert, a massive chunk of that is just spam and malicious garbage. So with that unimaginable volume of sensitive personal, financial, and business data flying around the globe, this security journey is absolutely vital. It's a huge target for attackers, which means the infrastructure protecting it literally has to be bulletproof. Now, the actual physical architecture of that journey totally breaks the common misconception of a direct conversation. Sending an email is actually very different from shooting off an instant message on a chat app. When you hit send, your message is hopping through multiple distinct systems and security checks. It starts at your computer, travels to the Gmail server, gets fired across the open internet, and finally lands at the recipient's provider. A single message has to navigate all these different environments, and you know what? Each one of those hops requires a very specific type of security. Okay, step 1. Clicking send. The journey begins. Picture this. You're sending your resume to a company. You attach the PDF, type out your cover letter, and you're hovering over the send button. At this exact moment, everything still exists entirely on your device. Nothing has gone out to the internet yet. Gmail is just sitting there waiting for the very first major security checkpoint. Because before Gmail even accepts your email for delivery, it has to know without a doubt who is sending it. Think of it kind of like a real-world post office. Before a postal worker accepts highly sensitive, registered mail, they verify your ID at the counter, right? Gmail does the exact same thing using authentication. If you're already signed in, it uses your authenticated session. If not, you gotta log in. Without this absolutely crucial step, anyone could just pretend to be you and fire off fake emails from your account. No way. Moving on to step 2, securing the journey. So, you're verified. Your email is now ready to leave your device and brave the vast, unpredictable internet. And this is where things get really interesting. Imagine sending a highly confidential paper letter, but you shove it through a completely transparent open glass pipe where literally anyone walking by can just read it. Well, that's exactly what sending an email without protection is like. But Gmail doesn't do that. Before the email even leaves your computer, it establishes a secure communication channel using protocols like HTTPS and TLS. What this means for you is, if you're sitting in an airport using sketchy free Wi-Fi, someone snooping on the network might see that you're talking to Gmail, but they cannot capture or read the actual contents of your email. The data is completely encrypted in transit.
Which brings us to part 3, delivery and storage.
All right, your email has safely navigated the public Wi-Fi and made it to Gmail's actual infrastructure. Here, Gmail checks the routing info, figures out the recipient's provider, let's say it's Microsoft Outlook, and scans that attached resume for spam indicators or hidden malware. Then, it securely hands the message off using standard email protocols. But once the recipient's provider gets it, runs its own checks, and drops it in their inbox, what happens to the data? Does it just sit openly on a server somewhere? No. Modern providers protect your stored messages using what's called encryption at rest. Think about storing super important paper documents. You don't just leave them on a desk, you lock them inside a secure archive vault. Encryption at rest ensures your data stays scrambled and safe on the physical servers, significantly cutting down the risk if those actual physical hard drives are ever somehow compromised. So the big takeaway here is that modern email security isn't just one single magic shield. It's a really robust ecosystem of complementary cryptographic technologies, all working together perfectly. You've got authentication, verifying the sender, secure communication, like HTTPS, locking down the email in transit, encryption at rest, protecting the data once it's stored on the servers, and hash functions running in the background to verify data integrity the whole way. And all of this happens seamlessly in just a few seconds it takes to send a message. Pretty wild, right?
Now for part 4, the E2E myth.
Okay, we need to shift gears for a second and clear up a massive misconception about email privacy. I guarantee you've heard someone say this, or hey, maybe you've even thought it yourself. Gmail uses encryption, so I'm the only one who can read my emails. We've got to call this myth out directly. Because while it is true that your email is encrypted in transit across the internet and encrypted at rest on the servers, standard email services are generally not truly end-to-end encrypted by default. Let's break that down. Under standard security, mainstream providers like Google and Microsoft actually maintain the technical ability to access the content of your messages. Why? Because they physically need to process your emails to give you the features you rely on every day. Stuff like spam detection, malware scanning, or just being able to search your own inbox. They hold the decryption keys to provide those services. True end-to-end encryption, or E2EE, is completely different. With E2EE, only the sender and the intended recipient have the decryption keys. The provider literally cannot read it, which is great for privacy, but it also means they can't easily scan it for spam or offer you advanced server-side search. So, encryption in transit, encryption at rest, and end-to-end encryption, they are 3 very, very different things. Finally, Section 5, the human weakness. So this begs the question, if modern HTTPS and server encryption are mathematically so strong that breaking them mid-transit is basically impossible, how do hacks actually happen? Well, cybercriminals don't waste their time attacking the advanced cryptography. They attack you. They exploit human trust. They'll send you a phishing email disguised as your bank. They'll spin up a fake login page to steal your password. They'll use social engineering to trick you into downloading a malicious attachment. Notice a pattern here? Email attacks almost never involve breaking the math. They involve tricking the user. Because the underlying tech has gotten incredibly strong, we, the users, have unfortunately become the weakest link in the chain. So, I want to leave you with this to think about. Who are you actually trusting the next time you open an attachment? The next time you click send, just remember the incredible journey your data takes. It is passing through complex authentication, secure channels, spam filters, and encrypted storage. There is this whole invisible ecosystem of powerful cryptography working tirelessly to protect your data. But at the end of the day, your ultimate safety relies on your own cautious habits. Verify the sender, never blindly trust a random link, and remember that you are the final and absolutely most important security checkpoint. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.